Welcome back. We're talking about aspects of language, and in your syllabus you'll find this term which your teacher might mention, which is honorifics. Now, what do we mean by that? Honorifics are usually placed before a person's name. So think of the ones that you know automatically: Mr., Ms., Mrs. Those are the obvious ones that you put before a person's name. It shows something of the respect that you feel towards that person. The other things that you can get is depending on your job, perhaps, so that maybe you are a doctor, or I call you captain, or coach, or reverend, if you're a member of the priesthood, or professor, because that is your position at a university. Then we also get abbreviations. For example, you might have somebody's name, and then at the end of it you have PhD, telling you what that person has achieved in the academic field. That's also part of an honorific. Some of them are very old-fashioned. A long time ago, people used to talk to a boy and call him master, and then the surname. You don't hear that very often, but look out for it. You might find it in a book that you're reading, Master Smith, and it tells you old-fashioned way of referring to a young boy. You know what you use at school. What do you call your teachers? Sir, ma'am? What about if you watch military programs? Yes, sir! Or sir, yes, sir! These are all honorifics, ways of speaking to somebody or about somebody. That's like a title. It's part of the way that you address that person. Some of them are quite difficult. We'll give you a letter in an exam and say, write a letter to the Minister of Education. And you say, but how do I address the Minister of Education? Do I write, Dear Sir, Dear Madam? Or do I write, the Honourable Minister? And then what do I say after that? Sometimes it can be a bit tricky. The next thing that I want to look at are contractions. We were talking about formal and informal English, and I said that contractions are part of informal English. So look, for example, at we are. If we contract it, we get we're. Look where you put the apostrophe. It's where the letter would be if you put it back. Right, so we've looked at we are, and then look at these. You are, you're, they have, they've, could have, he will, he'll. Again, it's very important that you focus on where the apostrophe is. It's replacing the A, replacing the H and the A, the H and the A, and the W. So you put the apostrophe where the letter has been left out. And as I said, contractions are an immediate sign of informal English. I am becomes I'm, do not, don't. Will not is a slightly different one, won't, and he is, he's. This is the only one that doesn't quite follow. So will not becomes won't. You would expect something to indicate that that's gone, but we don't, all right? It just becomes won't. And then I want to talk a little bit more about slang. Slang is a form of very colloquial language, and we said colloquial is spoken or informal English. Slang words and phrases do not last long in a language. Slang is used by certain groups, and so slang defines group identity, and those groups define their group identity. Slang is not usually made up, but is adapted from words or phrases already in the language. Slang at its best is clever and has impact. So what is slang and what is colloquial? It's actually very difficult to say that's colloquial, that's slang, because it kind of blurs between the two. Colloquialisms are understood by a greater number of people. So if I say, hey guys, a lot of people will understand that I'm talking to a group of people, both men and women. But if I have dude, perhaps, you might say, okay, older people won't understand dude, I'd have to explain it for them. So slang very definitely identifies you as belonging to a particular group. And other people outside that group might not understand what you are saying. Whereas colloquialisms are understood by a much broader group. And finally, I want to look at euphemism. A euphemism is a polite word or expression that people use when they are talking about something which they or other people find unpleasant or embarrassing. For example, talking about death. We don't like to say that somebody has died. We often prefer to say that somebody has passed away. I hope you feel a whole lot better about slang and style and register, colloquialism, jargon. From me, bye-bye.